A political fault line widened this week as claims emerged that Ukraine had rejected a US-drafted 28-point peace framework, even as Russian President Vladimir Putin confirmed receiving the proposal. The moment reignited fierce debate across Western capitals over whether the war has reached a point where diplomacy must outweigh battlefield ambition. The draft plan reportedly includes safeguards for Ukrainian sovereignty, a US-backed security guarantee, and a path to reconstruction, but also contentious provisions on territorial concessions and amnesty for war crimes. Those terms became the center of a public argument not between Kyiv and Moscow, but within the West itself. Prominent historian Niall Ferguson took a sharply pragmatic line, calling the proposal a reasonable basis for negotiations. In a 5-post thread, he argued wars end either through victory or compromise, and insisted Ukraine has never been in a position to defeat Russia. He said critics were ignoring battlefield realities in favor of wishful analysis.
Wars are ended either by victory or by compromise. This plan affirms Ukraine's sovereignty. It provides Ukraine with a US-backed security guarantee. It envisages Ukrainian reconstruction. Of course, the territorial terms and the amnesty for war crimes are hard to swallow. But if you want to take back territory and try Putin, you have to win the war. And realistically, Ukraine has never been in a position to defeat Russia. The critics should also acknowledge that President Trump has taken some risk here.
Ferguson added that the plan affirms Ukraine's sovereignty, outlines reconstruction, and offers security guarantees, but acknowledged the toughest elements would be difficult for Kyiv to accept. Even so, he warned that prolonging the war for another year carries too great a risk. He urged President Volodymyr Zelensky to use his political capital to explain why the time is right to negotiate, arguing that diplomacy could consolidate the gains Ukrainians have fought for since 2022. US Vice President JD Vance also defended the framework, laying out 3 criteria for any viable peace: stopping the killing while preserving sovereignty, being acceptable to both sides, and preventing the war from restarting.
Any Ukraine-Russia peace plan has to 1. Stop the killing while preserving Ukrainian sovereignty. 2. Be acceptable to both Russia and Ukraine. 3. Maximize the chances the war doesn't restart. Every criticism of the peace framework the administration is working on either misunderstands the framework or misstates some critical reality on the ground.
Vance said, critics either misunderstand the proposal or misstate battlefield realities, dismissing as fantasy the belief that more money, weapons, or sanctions could deliver a decisive Ukrainian victory. Peace, he argued, won't be made by failed diplomats, but by smart people living in the real world. The contrasting reactions, even before Kyiv formally responds, reveal deepening fractures within the Western discourse, signaling a pivotal moment as political timelines tighten and strategic patience thins.